Christina Lagatti, the event director.
Ben Marticius, I was the writing director.
John Cook, the strategy director.
Zara Fab, research director.
I'm Molly Williams, I was the design director.
My phone is super broken.
Yeah, this phone's been calling random people and making noises, so.
Sorry about that.
Over the course of this semester, we worked with the Greater Baton Rouge Hope Academy, and it is a school for students with learning challenges and learning developmental disabilities. It is a unique school because it's one of the only ones in the United States and the only one of its kind in Baton Rouge, because it uses a method called the Cabas method of learning. And with this method, they tailor unique lesson plans for each of the students, and they do a constant evaluation so they can see if the method of learning is working kind of quicker than a traditional school would, and that is how they're successful with teaching their students. With this campaign, I worked with Pam Chenevert, there's her, and then that is Linda Stone, the principal of the school, and then Pam's daughter, and then the accountant of the school as well. But definitely Pam was my main contact. She was very helpful with anything that we needed. How we did our communication was Bridge met on Wednesday nights and talked about different things that needed to be done and worked on our little projects for this campaign, and then me and Pam had a phone meeting every Thursday, and I would make an agenda based on the points that Bridge Communications had talked about the night before. Of course, leading up to our main event, me and Pam talked on the phone quite a little bit more often, and we emailed and texted frequently if needed.
Okay. The Greater Baton Rouge Hope Academy is a school with a valiant mission but scarce resources. Due to its lack of community awareness, we'll talk about that later, the small private school with 117 students struggles to increase the enrollment as well as maintain funds. Sarah's going to tell you something about the client interview.
Yes, so our first step in doing the primary research is we did a client interview. So I went to the school and met Pam, and we had tons of questions to talk about, from the background of the organization to future goals, and we came up with that we knew awareness and fundraising were our two major goals. After our meeting, the entire Bridge team met us at this school and went for a tour.
Okay. Yeah. Let's start with research. We did donors and parent surveys. The survey was distributed amongst past donors and parents of the current students. We decided to do it in order to get a better understanding and impression of the views of the individuals who are actually involved with the organization of Greater Baton Rouge Hope Academy. And we sent out the links to the surveys to the donors and the parents. And we also sent out a letter to the private households in order to inform the parents about the relationship between the Greater Baton Rouge Hope Academy and Bridge Communications. We also sent out the surveys to the donors, as I just said. The results were that, unfortunately, the amount of the response to the surveys was not as big as we expected it to be. The results were that most of the parents who actually responded were very, very willing and very excited to volunteer or attend to fundraising events we were planning on doing in order to increase the awareness of the school. We did a SWOT analysis, and as Sarah said before, the strength of the school is that it's pretty much the only one of its kind in the Greater Baton Rouge area. So, and also the parents and the teachers are very helpful and very dedicated to the school, and they are very willing to help to increase the awareness of the school. Also, the regularly updated Facebook page is very, very good, because people can actually get information about future events, what's happening, what's going on. The pictures are always nice, so it's nice to look at it. The weakness is that, as we said before, that the academy is pretty much unknown in the Baton Rouge area, which makes it very, very hard to get a reputation to build itself up on. This is a problem when it comes to finding donors and recruiting new students. Also, what we found from the surveys is that the facilities are very unsatisfactory. That's what the parents told us in the surveys. The opportunities are that there are hundreds of potential partnerships through medical professionals, and this could help to increase the awareness of the Baton Rouge Hope Academy. The threats are that since the Greater Baton Rouge Hope Academy is a private school, the financial support is an ongoing problem, and also the physical condition, what I was just talking about, of the facilities could make, parents decide not to send their kids to the school because they might think that the facilities are not, not appropriate for their kids in order to learn there. So, and now Ben is going to talk about the target audience.
So we moved on to the target audiences once we found our primary, secondary research and SWOT analysis, and we came to find our number one target audience would be the parents of the students. These parents showed a lot of passion towards their children that go to this school. If anybody attended the event, I know a few in here did. Our keynote speaker was actually a parent of a child, and it was a very emotional speech he gave, and it was just showed the kind of passion that they bring, and the parents really love their children, and they're proud of what they've done at the school, and as Bridge Communications, they're the type of people that we really enjoyed working with. And our other audience would be potential donors. We have to have donors for money, and they are a key source of revenue for the school itself. And when we first started looking at the donors, of course we started with previous donors, and then we moved on to other opportunities. We looked at doctors' offices, churches, and we would contact them with the goals of raising awareness and potentially getting donorships out of them. So we think those two were our main audiences. Of course, the other ones would include other service learning organizations.
So after meeting with our client Pam, we determined that they had two big problems. One was that this is such an awesome school with such a great mission, but no one really knows about it. And the second problem, which was kind of more pressing, was the fact that they're low on funds. It's a tuition-based school, but they rely heavily on donations to kind of stay afloat. And so to achieve these goals, we used a number of strategies and tactics. For our awareness campaign, we sought to reach our target audience of these women parents through reaching them through relevant channels. We did this by first cold calling local churches, schools, and doctors to just explain the school's mission and request to send them additional information. We really focused on the doctors and tried to get ourselves into their offices with some brochures of Hope Academy to display in their waiting rooms for potential students to enroll. And gain media features, we were only able to garner one feature in the news for a 9 o'clock news spot with that luncheon. But moving forward, there's so many great stories of the school, and we think there's a number of feature angles that can be written about the school or students. For our awareness goals, for our fundraising goals, our main moneymaker was our casino event. Before we got to that event, though, we were kind of freaking out about covering costs, so we had this Bistro Byron's event first to to help cover initial costs and to kind of have our back on the tail end if something went wrong. It didn't, so it all went well. And so in leading up to our casino event, we pretty much just scoured the Baton Rouge area of any businesses that could potentially donate money or items for our silent auction. We distributed sponsorship packets kind of detailing what we would do for them if they sponsored our events via advertising and such. And in all, we invited over 800 guests to the event via email, snail mail, one-on-one, Facebook, and it turned out well, I believe. If someone else wants to talk a little more about the big event.
Well, before Christina launches into the event, I'm going to talk about the design, because I was design director for the campaign. If you could switch to the next slide, and then the next one. Sorry, it's out of order. design was to get over the fact that our logo and our brand is pretty modern, and Hope is very appropriate for a school, but it's different from ours. And so I had to relate the two while targeting donors, which I wanted it to be professional and modern and creative, but it is a school, and you have to stay true to that design as well. To the right, I have some of the fonts I used. I utilized sites like FontSquirrel and losttype.com, and I designed everything with the same brand. So go back to the previous slide. This is our event collateral. This is our invitation and our ticket and the logo. It was actually Sarah's idea to design a logo, which was really smart because I was like, not gonna do that because I didn't want to put forth the effort, but I did anyway. And it ended up working out well. And so our logo was on everything that we did for the event. And I had four colors, red, black, gray, and tan. And this, of course, as you can see, was here, but it also was in, I went to the confetti on the tables, we had those colors, and we had it in the sponsorship packet. So I basically established a brand for the event. It was really successful. I enjoyed doing design. I hope in the future that we can help them in their design efforts. If you ever need anything else, I'd be happy to work. But also, our event, as John said, was hugely successful. I did hurt my foot because the chair fell on it, but it's okay. I'm getting better. And Christine is going to talk about the planning for the event.
Okay, before we just really dive into what the event was and how we got there, just want to highlight on the fact that we had a zero budget, and when we came into it, we were kind of overwhelmed thinking, how are we going to put on this huge event with no money? But we really kind of got creative and utilized resources we didn't initially think we had, and it really did end up being great. And also, something that was just challenging about the event is that anything that could have gone wrong did. And that is just something part of event planning. But like John had mentioned, we invited over 800 guests, and that was initially our biggest challenge, was getting people to come to the event. It was held at the Renaissance Hotel. We had a relationship with the owner, and so it worked out well that we could have it there. We met with the coordinator of events, and she really helped us like manage and minimize costs so we could kind of put something on that was great and, you know, aesthetic and great and entertaining, but also like cost effective. And so our tickets were sold through Eventbrite. They were $75 each, and I think that was also a challenge. It's a little more expensive, but again, we were targeting this audience that, you know, was making a little more money, and we thought that would be a little feasible. Once we saw that we weren't selling many tickets, we really kind of took on a new audience and started attracting LSU students. And we just have really supportive friends, because we had a bunch of friends come for $20, and they all enjoyed it. I had so many other people who couldn't come. They were like, we heard it was awesome. And so that was just very exciting. It was casino themed. Our second challenge was that we almost got shut down because of legal issues. You're supposed to have a gambling license in order to have events like this, but through determination and assertiveness, we kind of worked our way around that, and it was still really fun and legal. We did actually garner some media coverage for this. It hasn't been published yet, but In Register has a community section, and we will be, where I work, and we'll be putting photos in that for it as well. We had two different bands. That's Mike Wampel to the left, who was a generous benefactor. Two different bands, food, you know, the casino games, they were all volunteers. It was a great community outreach. We had a silent auction. We actually, you know, we went to crazy amounts of figuring out who should we contact, who we did contact. We ended up getting items totaling over $6,000, so it was great. We had some really big items, and people were able to bid, and you know, people got feisty in that, but it was very entertaining. But overall, it was a learning experience for all of us. I think going into it, we were a little naive, and then we realized, wow, this is a huge event, and it takes a lot. And so at the end of it, while we were concerned we were going to be able to pay for the hotel to begin with, we actually raised almost $4,000. And so we're really proud of that. You know, zero turning into 4,000 is great, and we enjoy the school and we love the school. So
so we're really proud for that.
Kind of just sum this whole thing up is the evaluation part of this entire campaign. For our awareness goal, we think we did successfully accomplish this because we contacted over 30 doctor's offices, schools, 30 schools, and about 15 to 20 churches in the area, and now they know about Hope Academy, and they previously had not. Also, just through our social media and things like that, we went to sorority houses and announced about our Bishop Irons fundraiser as well as our casino night event. So campus got to know about the school, even though they weren't quite our target audience, but it's always good to know about it. One thing for an ongoing evaluation would be our media coverage. So we know that in registers coming out, we won't be able to really evaluate what the spread is going to be until it comes. And then kind of just hearsay about our event. Throughout, it was just this past Monday, so we're waiting to hear back. I know Pam's probably heard some things about people from the school over there, but since it was just this week, that is an ongoing evaluation. Another thing is the fact that we got on the 5 o'clock news for a lunch seminar that there are probably only 8 parents there, but it's something that happens every month at the school. That really was an amazing feature on the news, and was broadcast to the entire Baton Rouge community. Anyone who watches Channel 9 at 5 o'clock on Fridays. For our fundraising evaluation, I definitely think that was a success, especially with the zero budget that we had. Our goal was to raise at least $1,000, so we times that by 400%, and we did that. And just that was the fact that it was just through ticket sales and auction items and just us working really hard. I think that was a great way to raise money. And then if Hope Academy decides to continue this event to make it an annual thing, then they know all the bumps in the road, as Christina said, in order to make it even more successful for the upcoming year.
Any questions?
Any questions?
It was great.